Hello there, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on inside your body after you've enjoyed a meal? We often focus on flavor, on comfort, on the joy of eating, and that's wonderful. But what if I told you that some of the foods many of us eat, perhaps even daily, could be quietly, almost secretly, waging a war against one of your most vital organs, your colon? It's a startling thought, isn't it? You believe you're nourishing yourself, choosing foods you've trusted for years. Yet beneath the surface, some of these very choices might be setting the stage for discomfort, for sluggishness, and even for more serious health challenges down the line. We're not just talking about an upset stomach here and there. We're talking about things that can genuinely impact your quality of life, especially as a senior. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on 8 types of foods that could be doing more harm than good to your colon. Now, I want to be clear from the outset. This isn't about making you feel guilty or telling you to give up everything you love. Absolutely not. This is about empowering you with knowledge. Because when you understand what's happening, you can make small, informed changes that can lead to a much healthier, more vibrant you. Are you ready to discover what might be lurking in your pantry or on your plate? Stick with me, because some of these might genuinely surprise you. And the first one is a biggie for the many households. Red meat. For many, it's the centerpiece of a hearty meal, a juicy steak, a satisfying burger, a Sunday roast. It's been a symbol of a good, strong diet for generations, hasn't it? We associate it with protein, with iron, with energy. But have you ever considered that this very staple, if not approached with care, could be placing an unnecessary burden on your colon? The truth is, while red meat provides certain nutrients, overdoing it, especially beef, pork, and lamb, has been consistently linked in research to an increased risk of colon troubles, including inflammation and even the development of polyps, those little growths that can sometimes turn into something more sinister over time. Now, why is this? Well, part of it comes down to the high levels of saturated fats. We often hear about saturated fats in relation to heart health, but did you know they can also foster an environment in your gut where less friendly bacteria thrive? It's like giving the wrong team the home field advantage. And there's more to this story. When we cook red meat at high temperatures, think grilling char marks or that deep fry crisp, compounds can form known as heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. That sounds like a mouthful, I know, but the takeaway is that these substances are not your colon's friends. They've been shown to potentially damage the cells lining your colon. It's a subtle process, one you wouldn't feel day to day, but over years it can contribute to an unhealthy internal environment. So, what's the answer? Do you have to say goodbye to red meat forever? Not necessarily. It's about moderation and mindfulness. Think about limiting truly red meat to perhaps a couple of smaller servings a week, not every day. And what if you're looking for robust protein sources that are kinder to your colon? Consider fatty fish like salmon or sardines. These are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are actually anti-inflammatory. What a wonderful switch! Lean poultry, like chicken or turkey breast, when prepared without the skin and not fried, is another excellent choice. And for those open to plant-based power, lentils, chickpeas, and beans are fantastic, full of fiber, which your colon absolutely loves. Imagine making these simple swaps. Could it mean a happier colon and more peace of mind for you? Now, if red meat raises a yellow flag, then processed meats? Well, these might just deserve a bright red one. We're talking about bacon, sausages, hot dogs, Deli meats like salami and ham. Oh, they're convenient, aren't they? Quick for sandwiches, easy for breakfast, a go-to for a speedy meal. And let's be honest, many of them are designed to be incredibly tasty. But what if that convenience and taste are masking a deeper issue for your colon health? The International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is part of the World Health Organization, has classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen. That means there's strong evidence linking them to cancer. That's the same category as tobacco smoking and asbestos. Does that shock you? It shocked me when I first truly understood the implications. It's not something we often discuss over a hot dog at a ball game, is it? What makes them so problematic? It's not just the saturated fat, though that's certainly a player. A huge concern lies with the preservatives used to extend their shelf life and maintain that appealing color, specifically nitrates and nitrites. When these compounds get into your body, they can convert into N-nitroso compounds, or NOx, which are known to be potent cancer-causing agents. Think about it. Even a small, regular intake, say a couple of slices of bacon each day, or a hot dog a few times a week, has been shown in studies to significantly increase the risk of colorectal cancer. An 18% increased risk for just 50 grams a day. That's about 2 slices of bacon. And the concerns don't stop at cancer. These foods are often laden with sodium. While a little sodium is essential, the amounts in processed meats can be sky-high, contributing to high blood pressure, sure, but also to bloating and potentially irritating the lining of your gut over time. It's a double whammy. So what's a senior to do, especially if these have been lifelong habits? The key, again, isn't necessarily total deprivation, but a significant shift in perspective. Could you treat these foods as a very occasional indulgence rather than a daily or even weekly staple? And what about those cravings? Instead of bacon, perhaps explore turkey bacon or even some smoked salmon for a savory breakfast treat. Instead of deli meats in your sandwich, how about freshly roasted chicken breast or even a hearty hummus and vegetable filling? It's about asking yourself, is this quick fix worth the long-term gamble for my colon? Making a change here could be one of the most powerful things you do for your digestive wellness. Oh, the allure of fried foods, French fries, fried chicken, crispy onion rings, those delightful donuts. There's something undeniably comforting and satisfying about that golden, crunchy exterior, isn't there? It's a texture and taste that many of us have grown up with and associate with good times. But what if that comforting crunch is actually creating a storm of trouble within your colon? The main villain here is often the type of fat used for frying and the high temperatures involved. Many commercially fried foods, and even some home-fried ones, are cooked in oils that are high in unhealthy saturated fats, or even worse, trans fats. We know these fats are bad news for our hearts, but they are equally problematic for our colons. They promote chronic inflammation throughout the body, and your colon is no exception. And inflammation, as we're learning more and more, is a key driver behind many chronic diseases, including colon cancer. It's like constantly poking at an injury. It never gets a chance to truly heal and can lead to more serious problems. But the plot thickens. When starchy foods, like potatoes, are fried at high temperatures, a chemical called acrylamide can form. Acrylamide has been flagged as a potential carcinogen, so those harmless fries might not be so harmless after all if they're a regular part of your diet. Furthermore, fried foods are typically heavy and difficult to digest. They can slow down the movement of food through your digestive system, leading to that sluggish, bloated feeling, constipation, and an overall sense of discomfort. Have you ever felt that way after a particularly greasy meal? That's your digestive system crying out for help. So, does this mean no more crispy delights? Not at all. This is where modern cooking methods can be your best friend. How about baking? Oven-baked sweet potato fries tossed with a little olive oil and herbs can be wonderfully crispy and flavorful. And have you discovered the magic of an air fryer? It can give you that satisfying crunch with a tiny fraction of the oil. Grilled chicken instead of fried chicken offers immense flavor without the inflammatory baggage. It's about being smart with your cooking methods. Could you experiment with these healthier techniques? You might find you don't miss the deep-fried versions nearly as much as you think, and your colon will certainly be singing your praises. A glass of wine to unwind after a long day, a celebratory toast, a cold beer on a warm afternoon. Alcohol is, for many, deeply intertwined with social rituals and relaxation. You might have even heard that a little red wine can be good for the heart. But when we shift the focus to your colon, does that rosy picture still hold true? The reality is, alcohol, especially in excess, can be quite irritating to the lining of your entire digestive tract, including your colon. Think of it like a mild chemical burn, repeated over time. This irritation can lead to inflammation. And as we've discussed, chronic inflammation is a pathway to trouble. More concerning is the direct link research has shown between alcohol consumption and an increased risk of colon cancer. The more you drink, and the more regularly you drink, the higher that risk appears to climb. How does this happen? When your body metabolizes alcohol, one of the byproducts is a substance called acetaldehyde. This is a recognized toxin and a carcinogen. It can damage the DNA in your cells, and if the cells in your colon are repeatedly exposed to this damage, it can pave the way for cancerous changes. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Furthermore, alcohol can interfere with the absorption of crucial nutrients like folate, a B vitamin that plays a role in DNA repair. So, not only is alcohol potentially causing damage, but it might also be hindering your body's ability to fix that damage. Does this mean every drop of alcohol is forbidden? For some individuals, especially those with pre-existing conditions, abstinence might be the wisest course. But for many, the key word is strict moderation. Current guidelines often suggest no more than 1 drink per day for women and no more than 2 for men. And some experts suggest even less for optimal colon health, particularly as we age. What if you're looking for enjoyable, colon-friendly alternatives for social settings or relaxation? How about sparkling water with a squeeze of fresh lime or a handful of berries? Or perhaps explore the world of herbal teas, many of which have calming properties. Have you tried kombucha? It's a fermented tea that actually contains probiotics, which can support gut health. It's about shifting habits and finding new ways to enjoy yourself that also honor your body's needs. Could you see yourself making such a shift for the sake of your long-term colon wellness? White bread, fluffy white rolls, most packaged pastries, many breakfast cereals, and that comforting bowl of white pasta. These refined grains are everywhere, aren't they? They're soft, they're convenient, and for many, they form the very foundation of meals and snacks. But what if these seemingly innocent staples are actually short-changing your colon in a significant way? The problem with refined grains is what's been taken out of them. During the refining process, the bran and germ are stripped away to give them that soft texture and longer shelf life. Unfortunately, the bran and germ are where most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals reside. And fiber, my friends, is your colon's absolute best friend. Think of fiber as the gentle sweeper for your digestive system. It adds bulk, helps keep things moving smoothly, prevents constipation, and even helps to feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut. When you consume refined grains that are low in fiber, they can act almost like a glue in your digestive tract, slowing things down and making it harder for your body to eliminate waste efficiently. This isn't just uncomfortable. It can mean that potential toxins spend more time in contact with your colon wall. Beyond the lack of fiber, refined grains can also cause rapid spikes in your blood sugar and insulin levels. These spikes over time can contribute to chronic inflammation, and there's that word again, inflammation, a known troublemaker for colon health. So what's the simple, powerful solution here? It's to embrace whole grains. Instead of white bread, could you switch to 100% whole wheat, rye, or even a hearty sprouted grain bread? Instead of white rice, try brown rice, quinoa, farro, or barley. Opt for whole wheat pasta or explore pastas made from lentils or chickpeas, which pack an extra protein and fiber punch. You might be surprised at how much more satisfying these whole grains are. They keep you feeling fuller for longer, provide sustained energy, and deliver that all-important fiber. It's a change that doesn't require you to give up bread or pasta, just to choose the more robust, colon-loving version. Isn't that a wonderfully simple upgrade for your health? Candy bars, cookies, cakes, sugary sodas, sweetened fruit juices, and even many popular breakfast cereals that masquerade as healthy. Sugar, in its many processed forms, has a way of sneaking into our diets, doesn't it? It's a quick pick-me-up, a comforting treat, a reward. But what if that sweet indulgence is actually feeding an unhealthy environment within your colon? Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, a complex ecosystem of both beneficial and potentially harmful microbes. When you consume a diet high in refined sugar, you're essentially throwing a feast for the bad guys. These sugar-loving bacteria can multiply and start to crowd out the beneficial ones. This imbalance, often called dysbiosis, can lead to chronic inflammation in the gut lining. And, as we're consistently seeing, this inflammation is a significant risk factor for conditions like inflammatory bowel disease and even colon cancer. It's like an uninvited party guest that overstays its welcome and starts causing trouble. Excess sugar doesn't just disrupt your gut bacteria. It can also contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain, and, as we mentioned with refined grains, those inflammatory spikes. Furthermore, a high sugar intake can sometimes slow down digestion, potentially leading to constipation, which means waste products linger longer in your colon than they should. It's a cascade of negative effects, all starting from that seemingly innocent sweet treat. Now, cutting out all sugar is a tall order, and perhaps not entirely necessary if we're talking about the natural sugars found in whole fruits. The real culprits are those added refined sugars. So, what are some smarter ways to satisfy that sweet craving? Instead of a sugary soda, how about sparkling water with a splash of 100% fruit juice or some muddled berries and mint? Instead of a candy bar, could a small square of dark chocolate do the trick? It's lower in sugar and even contains some antioxidants. And for a truly healthy sweet fix, reach for whole fruits. Berries, apples, bananas, they provide natural sweetness, along with that crucial fiber and valuable nutrients. Think about it. Reducing your intake of processed sugars isn't just about your waistline. It's a profound act of kindness towards your colon. So, if sugar is a problem, then surely artificial sweeteners, those diet or sugar-free options, must be the answer, right? Things like aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, found in diet sodas, sugar-free candies, and those little packets for your coffee. It seems like a perfect solution. All the sweetness, none of the calories. But what if this solution is actually creating its own set of problems for your gut and colon? Emerging research is painting a rather concerning picture. It appears that some artificial sweeteners can negatively alter the balance of your gut microbiome, much like sugar does. They can disrupt that delicate ecosystem, potentially leading to dysbiosis and, you guessed it, inflammation. It's ironic, isn't it? Something marketed as a healthier choice might be contributing to the very same issues we're trying to avoid. Some studies have even suggested that these sweeteners can lead to glucose intolerance, meaning they might interfere with your body's ability to manage blood sugar effectively despite having no calories themselves. It's a complex area, and scientists are still learning, but the early signals suggest caution is warranted. It feels like a bit of a trap, doesn't it? Sugar is bad. Artificial sweeteners might be bad. So what's left? Thankfully, nature offers some better alternatives if you're looking for sweetness without the downsides. Stevia, a plant-derived sweetener, and monk fruit extract are generally considered safer options that don't seem to have the same negative impact on gut bacteria for most people. A little bit of raw honey or pure maple syrup, used sparingly, can also be options, as they contain some beneficial compounds, though they are still sugars and should be used in moderation. The takeaway here is not to blindly trust sugar-free labels. It's about understanding that chemical sweetness might not be the free pass we hoped it was. Could you try phasing out artificial sweeteners and see if your digestion and even your cravings improve? And finally, we arrive at what might be the biggest umbrella category of them all: ultra-processed foods. What are these? Think of most packaged snacks, frozen dinners, fast food, sugary breakfast cereals, instant noodles, and many convenience meals. These are foods that have been significantly altered from their original state, often containing long lists of ingredients you wouldn't find in your kitchen, like artificial colors, flavors, emulsifiers, and preservatives. They are designed to be hyper-palatable, cheap, and convenient. But what is this convenience costing your colon? The truth is, these ultra-processed foods are often a triple threat, or even a quadruple threat. First, they are typically very low in fiber, which, as we know, is essential for a healthy colon. Second, they are often high in unhealthy fats, refined sugars, and sodium, all of which contribute to inflammation and can disrupt your gut health. Third, those chemical additives, emulsifiers for example, which are used to improve texture and extend shelf life, have been shown in some studies to erode the protective mucus lining of the gut and negatively alter gut bacteria, potentially leading to inflammation and increased gut permeability. It's a perfect storm for colon distress. Regular consumption of these foods has been strongly linked in large studies to a higher risk of various chronic diseases, including obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and yes, colorectal cancer. It's as if we're asking our colons to deal with a constant barrage of unnatural substances, and eventually the system can get overwhelmed. So what's the path forward here? It's about making a conscious shift towards whole unprocessed foods as much as possible. This doesn't mean you have to become a gourmet chef overnight. It can be as simple as choosing an apple instead of a packaged fruit snack, preparing a simple salad with grilled chicken instead of a frozen pizza, or cooking a pot of soup from scratch with fresh vegetables instead of opening a can. It's about recognizing that the food closest to its natural state is usually the best for your body. Every time you choose a whole food over an ultra-processed one, you are making a deposit in your colon's health bank. Isn't that a powerful way to think about it? So we've journeyed through these 8 food categories, and it might feel a little overwhelming. You might be thinking, what's left to eat? But please remember, the goal here is not restriction. It's empowerment through awareness. It's about understanding the why behind these recommendations so you can make choices that truly nourish and protect your colon, especially as you navigate your senior years. It's not about achieving perfection overnight. It's about making small, sustainable changes. Perhaps you could pick just one of these areas to focus on this week. Maybe it's swapping out processed deli meat for fresh roasted turkey in your sandwiches, or trying an air-fried version of your favorite fried treat. Every single positive choice you make is a step towards a healthier colon and a more vibrant you. And remember, it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff. Actively adding beneficial foods is just as important. Prioritize fiber. Load up on those fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. Your colon thrives on fiber. Stay hydrated. Water is crucial for helping that fiber do its job. Move your body. Regular physical activity helps keep your digestive system regular. Consider probiotics and prebiotics. Foods like plain yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, onions, garlic, and bananas can support a healthy gut microbiome. Your colon health is a cornerstone of your overall well-being. By being mindful of what you eat, you are taking a powerful, proactive step towards a longer, healthier, and more energetic life. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What was one thing from today's discussion that surprised you, or one change you feel inspired to make? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and insights can help others on this journey too. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how to live your healthiest life. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here's to your health, and here's to a happy colon.